Hello guys, welcome to another one of my Fortnite videos. I'm gonna be looking into some building strategies and comparisons for Fortnite Save The World Wargames. The very first thing I want to show you guys here is that I made my Twine base completely AFK build-ish anyway, because my first video was just about Canny Valley, and of course you can do just like the same kind of crazy easy stuff in Twine Peaks as well. The first thing I'm showing you guys here is denied with Husk Swarm, and I'm playing in a public mission, so I have 3 other high-level players in here, and it was just a test really to find out, can the walls handle the increased power level of the Husk Swarm? And it can. The Husk Swarm is pretty weak against structures, making it ideal for Constructor builds such as this. Playing with others, not really discussing any strategy, so some shots were fired, a few teddies were placed, 2 others came in as constructors as well. It was very peachy, very casual, very easy rewards. So it is definitely doable to stand and do nothing and let your structures take a beating in Twine Peaks with 4 max level players pretty much doing nothing. The main downside of playing with others is that you don't have your recycling materials for yourself, so that's a thing if it's like really important to you. I have been slowly but surely extending my bases just because I am looking forward to the infinite game mode, the unlimited waves mode that I hope we're gonna be getting very soon, because even though this is pretty easy for decent rewards, it is getting really boring. And speaking of rewards, do you get a lot more for playing this in a public mode with 3 other players in your base compared to playing it solo? No, you get exactly the same rewards I did anyway, and that is just coming up here. This is my personal favorite setup where I'm running with Mega Base Carl. I have power modulation, electrified floors, I have lofty architecture, and I think I have fully contained, but I'm going to be showing you guys all of the different builds. You've also been asking me, can this be done if you don't have heavy base Carl? What if you don't have this hero? Can you do it with that? So I'm going to be summarizing a few of those things as well in this video. But first I just wanted to show you the difference between soloing the mission and doing it in the full team. The structures are taking pretty much the same amount of damage. They are reaching the same point in the defense. Like, the same stuff is getting demolished and the rewards are the same, so there is no added benefit. What you see here is another one of my amplifiers in Twine Peaks, and as you can see, the husks are snake moving through a small pathway down there, which is because originally I had everything set up for trap tunnels, and this is just a bit of a demonstration of husk pathing. So the idea was for them to move around in here and take damage from traps, but if I block this area off now, they are of course not going to be able to get through because my walls are way too strong. And what does that mean? How are the husks going to react to such a change? They had 1 wall to smash before they would reach the amplifier. Now they need to go through multiple walls, and this is very important. This is information that you need to somewhat master in order to make really good bases in the game. It is, how does the obstacles affect where the husks move? So now they're trying to find a different path so they can jump onto the roof ceiling areas and go to the end of the blocked trap tunnel to smash 1 roof tile, because that is their shortest path to the amplifier. But this does not apply to all husks. They rarely move as a hive mind kind of thing. They're always trying out a few different things, so keep that in mind. They may have a breaker group of a few husks trying something different, and as soon as they take down 1 structure, it is going to affect the pathing of all of the husks in the entire game. So everything is very dynamic when you are building bases and defending like what I'm doing here. But they're coming here, they're taking out this 1 roof tile, allowing them to once again move directly towards the amplifier where they have 1 wall to bash. Then they would have come through, but they can't do that. The husks can just about take out 3 tier 3 metal walls. That is about the capabilities of the husks. So if you have like 3 walls to block them, you are safe, depending of course on like what you have for your survivors, what you have for your heroes. This is one of the things I have been asked to show. How have I designed my bases? And I have a bit of an inverted pyramid onion design, which means that I have a wall, then I have a railing floor, and then I have a slant. And I just continue doing this from the amplifier or the storm shield all the way out. I like having 9 layers in total. And this is because I use this base setup for other things as well. I like playing in the other challenges. And it just means that if something crazy happens in a game, I am 100% sure that the game will win on its own while I am watching my favorite series on Netflix or answering comments or something like that. The key is to manage pathing in the game. It is the most important thing because the husk will only take out around 3 walls in this defense. So you want to know where they are going, or rather you want to decide where you want to defend. And the easiest way to do that is to block off all paths. The husks are going to try to take the easy path, which means that if you make every path away from the spawn really hard for the husks to get through by adding ceilings they need to break through, slants on top of them, inverted slopes, railing floors, walls, all that kind of stuff is going to be taken into consideration for the husk AI. So if they can only easy get away from their spawn in one direction, they are all else equal going to do that. I have put up these stairs into the sky 5 tiles high at every one of my amplifiers, and that is because if you are up here, you are out of range from the denied vortex twister things that damage you, and the tornadoes are also going to be flying below you. Sometimes you're gonna have some really tricky amplifiers like this one where you can't really defend it with more than 1 tile. So what do you do? How do you defend an area such as that? The way I have done it is to block off the path to it completely from the spawn. I just have these wood things, but this is the path the husks need to take to reach this very vulnerable part of the amplifier. So once again, I'm just going layer upon layer upon layer of walls. These are most of them not even going to be affected by my base, but because the AI summarizes the health of the structures between them and their destination, they're not even going to try to come this way because there are just too many walls blocking their path compared to where I want to protect. I want to highlight this here: heals attached buildings for 4.8% of max health every 4 seconds. Try to get some of those. Any trap that can heal, I'm gonna be showing you guys why, but this here is the setup that I mainly use when I'm playing. It is pretty casual. I have a large base in case I have breakers going somewhere like crazy, and I have a large area for recycling. So we're gonna swap this setup out with Lofty Architecture Plus so that we have a smaller base area, but we have much higher health on the structures, because a lot of you guys have been recommended that I used that setup instead because it adds survivability. One of the things I want to show you guys is use traps like this in the current Wargames setup. If you have traps that heal walls on the other side of where the husks are coming from, they are not going to be using the durability of the traps, but they are going to be healing the walls every 10 seconds, actually healing them more than power modulation, the Constructor perk, and these stack. So if you have one trap healing 4.8% and you have power modulation healing 4%, you're healing 8.8% every 10 seconds of the health of the structures. And that is where this hero comes in handy, because it is the total health that determines how much is healed. So when the structures have a higher total health, they're going to be healed more every 10th second. So how does it work out? For me, it was exactly the same as using the other setup with a heavy base as the main. The main difference was that A few husks took a breaker, they went to the side and smashed the wall. But besides that, the husks came as far into the base, which means that for me, it didn't really give me much, I didn't feel more safe for having a bit more health on the structures. I was doing pretty okay. It was, on the other hand, quite annoying to have to think much more about where I positioned the base. As you can see here, I'm not covering as much an area as I was before, which is what the Mega Base ability does for you. So you need to think more about where you place the base so that you are sure all of the structures are going to be healed and slowing down opponents, have more health, all the goodies that come with the Constructor loadout. But what if you don't have Mega Base? Can you in any way do this without having this mythic Constructor? Of course you can. I went in for a few tests and I'm just going to be including a run through here that was pretty silly, where I'm going in with the frozen castle, I'm removing fully contained, I'm removing the Mega Base, I'm removing the electrified floor, so it is a very, very low budget Constructor build that really just focuses on not taking out the husks, which brings up another point. If you have the setup I use, the husks are going to die and more are going to spawn. But if you don't take out the husks, you're not going to have additional husks spawn, which means that they're not going to be breaking as much away from the path as if a hole is made somewhere, because you're not going to be getting new husks that are going for a new path. The main bonus about having this is that the frozen husks give you a bit of a cooldown period, but as you can see, the very, very limited size of the base affected area means that the husks are going to select the path away from where I wanted to defend. I like having them spread out over more tiles so that they damage a lot of walls very little instead of few walls to a great deal. So they went in there and they decided, nah, we're just gonna split this way instead, go up here and bash things. So they came much further into the base because I had a smaller area, and also I feel because they weren't taken out, giving the whole the different structures a bit more time to recover, to regenerate their health. If we look at the setup that I have down here, the husks have all decided to go to a completely different area, and they actually broke into the base here. They demolished through 3 layers of walls, and then a few of them went into the amplifier, but I was able to completely AFK win this, even though they went towards my least protected area in Twine Peaks and bashed through 3 walls. So you can do it without heavy base, you can do it without taking out the husks, you can do it in all storm shields, in all map areas. You do need to have a lot of materials to do this, so make sure you have recycling, so that while you are building up, preparing your defenses, you're going to be raking in a few thousand metal every single time you play through it. So anyway guys, that was what I had to share in this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please put it down there if any of these tips, tricks and information was useful, if it is something that is going to be helping you towards pushing it forward, raking in more tickets in Fortnite Save the World. A huge thanks to everyone out there using my supporter creator code LokeHansen. It means the world to me. On a side note, there is a super discount kind of thing in the Epic Games Store. I pre-ordered the John Wick Hex game, so I'm looking forward to digging into that in the future. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching.